Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hitting that play button for another episode of the Hetty Coleman podcast, where I love to help people go win. And one of the ways that I do that is through go win conversations with fabulous people. And today, ladies and gentlemen, today I went deep into Instagram and found the one and only Deanne Brodie-Mends, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up for Brodie. So we've been talking about what do I call Deanne. So she goes, there's some people call you D.
Yeah, D or D Brodie.
Oh, I like D Brodie. You didn't say D Brodie. Now you asked. I think now you asked us. We live on the air. You started to ask D Brodie.
Yeah, D Brodie. But then my Instagram name is the Lady Deanne.
Nice. Well, and you said you don't really have a preference.
No, you can call me whatever you like.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you for making the trip down to Guthrie, America.
Listen, Guthrie, America. I was like, what is Guthrie, America? Hello.
So let's jump into this. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, where did you grow up? Now, let's do this. Tell me when you were a kid, right?
Okay.
The people who were around you at that time that know you now, what would they say about you? Who would they say? Like, what kind of kid were you?
Respectful kid. I listened to my mom and dad all the time. But they would say that I was shy. Very shy, timid. Didn't really put myself out there. But I was good at school and just kind of avid learner type of person, but I was very shy. So that's what I would
Really?
say.
So do you remember being that way?
Yes, I do.
And so when did you stop being shy or timid?
My junior year in high school, went on a retreat, and we had to get in groups to create some type of performance. And I came alive in that moment. I danced in front of everyone, and that was the moment that Deanne came out.
Wait, now you had never put yourself out in front of people like that?
No, I mean I played basketball,
Okay.
so I feel like that gave me
Yeah.
a lot of my confidence there. Maybe my friend group, they knew who I really was, but other than that, and my family, but I was quiet.
Okay.
To everyone else.
So family, siblings?
Yeah, I have two younger siblings. I'm the oldest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the favorite child?
Wow, my mom did a good job of trying to share the wealth, but I would say the baby. Rayma gets all the love. When we were younger, we used to tell her hey, ask mom to get us this at the store because she won't get it for us.
Okay, but he would come through. Is it he or she?
All girls.
And what's her name?
Rayma.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I thought you said Raymond, but Rayma.
Yeah, Rayma.
That's a cool name. Now, did you ask your parents why they named you Deanne?
Deanne means divine, and so that, and then my dad, there was this woman that he revered, and he was okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm naming my child that. That's how Deanne came into existence.
Now, your parents are from Ghana.
Yes, sir.
So, did you ever live in Ghana, or have you been?
I went my senior year in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it? What were some takeaways from that moment?
Wow. Okay. Well, when I went, I was wow, everyone looks like me. That was I was not in the minority there, so that was huge for my psyche. I also loved that the people were so full of life. It really did feel like home, even though it's my parents' home,
Yeah.
Going back was just wow, this is how you grew up. This is the type of life that you lived. And then also in America, oftentimes they show the bad side of Africa, the poor side, as if there's no poor places in America.
Yeah.
So I used to cringe just being in chapels, watching kind of the missionary videos that would go out, just because I'm this is not how it really, it really is. And actually there are lucrative sides, of being in Africa. And then there's really, really poor. I feel like there's not a middle class. There's either you're really good or you're really bad. So,
wow, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure other people who are from Ghana who know the truth of what that looks like, and then the way that it's portrayed typically on television regarding people getting over there to help out or whatever. And it's
yes, everyone needs help. But
yes.
It just seems you went to the poorest village in the place. Let's get the cameras.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And so actually being there, and for us, like we lived with my aunt, and we never even had to wash a plate going there. So it was just like.
But here, you was washing some plates.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You come back home.
Yeah,
you
wash.
better,
I was like, because I felt like I was like about to go to the sink, about to wash. She's like, no. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
that's so wild. So you come from America, right? Your senior year in high school, where you were going to school in Moore, Oklahoma.
No, I went to Christian Heritage Academy in Del City.
Okay, Christian Heritage Academy, but still a minority,
right?
Very much so.
Always.
Yeah, it's very much so in a minority. And then you go to Ghana, and it's like.
Culture
Did you
shock.
see any white people?
Yes, but people treat them like tourists. You know, they're like, oh,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
But
that is kind of cool. So when you came back to America, did something change about you? Kind of like your junior year when you found yourself coming out of your. Did you feel a little bit more like, you know what?
Yeah, I think that affirmed me because for so long I didn't understand why my parents or my family took pride in this culture that I really didn't know anything about until I went.
Yeah.
And then I fully embraced like the colors, the expression, the dialects. Before it was just like I would like make fun of things. It was just horrible. But it gave me my identity.
That is so cool. So talking about that, because I know that you're a motivational speaker, and one of the things that you love to go in and talk about is just self-esteem, building up your self-esteem. Do you think that those two moments kind of speak into when you go out and want to encourage people in this way? Do you reflect back on those moments? Do you think a lot of it comes from that?
No, actually, it's not until like you said it. I feel like, wow, those things do make me who I am. But I do pull from those a lot. I have a poem that I kind of do a whole introduction of myself, and I include that. I have like African like drum beats in the back, just to show that it is okay. To be who you are, and you don't have to compare yourself to anyone. God literally uniquely made your story, tailor-made it for you. And so I want everyone to feel that and also to be proud of who they are too, no matter what walk of life they came from. So
isn't it crazy that we potentially could be missing out on so much based on people not just being who they are?
Exactly.
And cultivating that too, right? Like I can be who I am, but I think there's a greater me in a sense of like, I got to cultivate, I got to grow personally, I got to do all those things. But the combination of people not even wanting to be who they were created to be, God intentionally wanted them to live out here on earth. And then on top of that, not growing. Because there's some people who are, I talk to people all the time like, no, you are great. You just got to keep growing, right? You're owning who you are. But now there's a better version of that. You just got to keep working at it. Yeah. Because there's this constant growth that should be happening. So I think too, like I'm thinking about you going into these schools or going into different places speaking, how much maybe you didn't think about that 11th and 12th. Like, I'm thinking like those are some powerful stories to go in and tell people, especially when you started about this idea that you were shy and timid. Oh, yeah. Like, tell me what it's like. Do you remember some moments that like really spoke to you being super shy? Like, Deanne, come in here and dance. Like, was there any of those kind of moments you was like, oh my goodness?
Oh, now that you bring that up. Okay, so.
Yes, I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it
Bring it up. No, so this is so crazy. The thing that I'm fearful of God has put me in, which I don't understand. But I had to take a speech class in high school. Like, that was not I think it was, I don't know if it was mandatory, I'm not sure. But I had to take it. And every time I felt like I was going to throw up being in that class, like I would like be sweating bullets when asked to go and like just do an impromptu. That's not my thing. I'm like, let me memorize this. Let me write it down. I do not want to go up there just for fun. I was just so scared of that. And everyone knew that. Yeah. So whenever they would call me up to do something, I felt like I'd probably like, what? Every time. So those are one of the moments that I feel like people were just like, okay, D, you're scared. Yeah. I'm scared.
Tell me about still maybe there's still some like nervousness and things like that, right? Yes. You're senior, you're getting ready to transition out of high school. Yes. Christian Heritage Academy. Mm-hmm. What did that look like for you? What decisions were you making? Do you remember some key decisions transitioning? Like, did you go to college right out of high school?
Yes, I did.
Why? And did you know what you wanted to do and did you stick with it?
Okay, so senior year of high school, I played basketball for my entire life. And so my plan was, I'm going to the WNBA. I'm about to kill the hoop dreams. But I had tore my ACL junior year. Tore my ACL junior year. So it felt like that dream had died coming to to my senior year. So I was at a crossroads. What am I going to do with my life? And I had this dream that, hey, if I'm not going to be on the court, then I'm going to be right beside it. So I plan to do physical therapy, and that's what led me to go to Southern Nazarene University. But I also am in a household that everyone does something in the medical field. My dad's a respiratory therapist. My mom is a registered nurse. My younger sister she works in the emergency room. My aunts are like CNAs, and then my other aunt's a doctor. Like everyone does everything in the medical field, but me.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that. So in my mind, I'm like, this is the path I'm supposed to be on. Everyone is doing this. So that's the kind of mind frame that I was in. Did not know that I could do speak or write, because I had that, the shy thing, right? And I thought that basketball was it. So I didn't feel like I had a purpose. I didn't know what I was doing. I put my all into basketball, and then when there wasn't that opportunity anymore, I felt like I was just lost. But I knew that if I wasn't going to play, then I wanted to be right beside the court. So that's what the PT thing came in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you end up getting your PT?
Oh, no.
No. And so you made some changes?
I figured out that I was not good at math or science. What is it? The end of my freshman year, I said, oh no, this is not for me. So
you had to make a pivot.
Another pivot, but I was scared to death because I was like, my parents, I'm like, what are they going to think? Because what other plan is there for me?
Yeah, outside of something in the medical. Yeah.
Right. So it's like if you are in African families, for the most part, they tell you like you're going to be either a doctor, a lawyer, or a nurse, and that's it. Yeah. So I didn't know that there was greeters. I didn't know that there was other opportunities to become something else. I didn't know that. So one day I remember going to my dorm room and just crying. It was like 2 weeks.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, 2 weeks of just crying.
So were you crying because you didn't want to have to tell your parents, or were you?
I didn't
crying?
know what to do.
Okay.
I was like, what am I going to do with my life?
Yeah.
I don't have anything except for the fact that, like, I like people, I like building relationships, and I can write on occasion at that time. So I didn't know what that was or what I could do with that. I also was a creative. I loved anything, like the art form of anything at the time. But I didn't what's that? Yeah. And it didn't seem as if it was going to bring me any type of money. So I was like, there's no way. So at the church that I attend now, it's called the Place of Faith. By the time it was called the Net Church under Bishop Joel and First Lady Latasha Tedman. I remember going to church and he had preached over The Circle Maker, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Good book. And he said, anything that you're experiencing, circle it. So at the time, it was failure for me. So I circled that and I would pray God would show me what I need to do. This for 2 weeks. And I would wake up early, ask the Lord what to do. Finally, I had a piece about just going to talk to one of the counselors about what should I do with my life. And I talked to my mom and she was not afraid. She was not mad at me. So I was like, okay, not mad. So I talked to someone. I said, I don't know what to do with my life. I just know I like to write. That was it. I said, I don't know. And she's like, well, and she showed me all my options. For the first time, I felt like my mind had opened up to the possibilities that there's something else out there for me. I'm not stuck. Yeah. So she's like, you could be an English major. And I was like, I don't know what to do with that. I'm just going to write books for the rest of my life. So then I went back home and I talked to my mom and my dad. I sat down with them and they were like, you should do mass communication because then there'll be more opportunities. I'm like, I don't like speaking, guys. I don't know what to do with that, but because it would give me more opportunities, I just stuck with that.
Okay.
Even though I didn't think I was going to speak ever in life.
Yeah.
And when I changed my major, my grades changed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So mass communication up through, you graduate with that degree?
Yes, got my bachelor's in that.
Now on your Instagram, let's pull up her Instagram. Can you pull up her Instagram? On your Instagram, you got your master's?
Yes, I
right,
did.
that shows
at
that.
University of Oklahoma.
Oh, you got your master's from the University of Oklahoma.
Uh-huh.
Come on, you wanted to make sure that people knew that, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So what was your master's in?
My master's is in adult and higher education, and my emphasis is in student affairs.
Tell me about that, because that's not mass communication
at all. Okay, so I after I graduated, the Lord has like shown me already that I'm going to do something with speaking or writing or something like that. Did not know which avenue that was going to come from. So when I graduated, I said I'm going to spend this amount of time. I need to do a job where I'm able to write. So I became a personal assistant for a lady, and I would work for her and write at the same time because I believed that I was going to have all these opportunities, and nothing happened, like at all. So I sat there at another crossroads, and I said, "Okay, God, you told me I'm going to become this, but this is not happening. So what is going on?"
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with my friend Sakisa, and I said, "I don't know, but I know that I like kids, like young adults." And I was an RA at Southern Nazarene University, and so I enjoyed that, but I don't know what that looks like. And her husband, Quentin Dixon, was in the adult and higher education program. And I was like, "What's that?" And she was like, basically, student affairs, helping, young adults, all that type of stuff. So I ended up applying, and I got a graduate assistantship to be an RD at OU. And the door opened like wide.
I'm not that smart. What's an RD?
Okay, an RD is a resident director. So like you live with the students, you like
yes. Okay.
basically like you manage them essentially.
Okay.
Walk through life with them. And so I got a part-time doing that and to pay for my school. And then I went to my classes at nighttime. And I did that for 2 years.
And so how long ago was that? When did you graduate from that?
Wow, it's 2020. So I graduated. Wow, this is crazy. I think it was like now 2017.
Okay, about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Weird. Did you go straight into working for Southern Nazarene?
Yeah. After that, I did my practicum at Southern Nazarene, and the Lord told me I was gonna work there. So it's so crazy. I told my boss, we laugh at this all the time. I told my boss, I said, like, I believe I'm supposed to work here, but there was no openings. But I knew, so I didn't apply for anything else because I believed that I was gonna get in there. And the summer before I had to make another decision, she was like, "We have a job."
Wow.
And I moved in.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So residential director, working with the students, living in the dorms, a lot of student life and interacting with students and things of that nature. What are some things that you have found that you like really need to be consistent in order to be the best RD you can be? Like interacting with the students, are there some things that you like, okay, I know that if I keep showing up doing the XYZ, these particular things, I'm serving them well.
Okay. I think for me, it is building like authentic relationships with them. Not just saying that, "Oh, I care about you." No, but like actually like checking in on them, being like aware of what's going on. Sometimes I realize like even remembering certain details that they have, like, "Oh, they have a test coming up."
Yeah.
I mean, the more they're like, "Wow, she really cares about me." Or some of the things that sometimes I forget, I'll write down certain things that they say so that I can go back and check in on them in that way. So that's been something that I've realized has benefited me and them. A lot of times I feel like there's a space between like, adults and young adult. And so I feel like adults are like, "Well, I'm just going to cut myself off from the young." And it's like, no, like if you just sit with them and like see what's going on, like they'll open up to you without you trying to feel like you're this adult and don't have time and, all this stuff. So I've been working on that. For the most part.
Just building those authentic relationships. Was that something that you've seen practice in your life, or is that something like you're learning how to do that?
No, I think like innately that's just how I am. Like I live off of that. Like I could do this all day, I like to know what's going on. A little bit nosy. Good for my mama,
Yeah.
But I enjoy getting to know what people are going through, and then there's a satisfaction in me of helping them achieve whatever that is. So like if you were sad and I'm able to bring joy to your day, how can I do that? You know, I find joy in that.
So there's hundreds of students at SMU that you're interacting with. You can't build authentic relationships with hundreds of students. How do you determine who, and then as a leader, someone who's leading the way, I would assume, how do you help bring a team along with you in order to do that?
Okay. Well, for me, I think the structure of residential life is like pivotal.
Okay.
Because I realize that if they can't come to me, there's someone else that I can take the student too. But the way that we have it is like I'm over a staff of 12.
Okay.
Who are RAs, so they're resident advisors, and they're students, and they live with the students. So I build the RAs up to go out to help the students. So at large, that is a way that, like a portion of myself is like in them, and then spur them on to help the students. And then there are some students that are just drawn to me that I just take my time to like mentor, help, build them up, things of that nature. I also have like a heart for, I guess, like minority students. Like it's big for me. I mean, clearly I feel like just being a Black woman and like Black women, like young adult women, I feel like just because sometimes they're forgotten a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I've experienced that. And so I know that my heart, like when I see a younger Black girl, I'm like, and then I want to go talk to her, help her. Cause like a lot of times that like we are neglected and we don't have anyone, which is one of my big things is representation. I think representation is a huge thing. If I didn't see a woman like me in a place I wanted to be, I don't think I would even aspire for that spot. So where I am now, I feel like I have a mandate on my life to show that, hey, you can be here and you can do this.
So whenever when you're intentionally connecting with the young minority females, do you hear them say that? Like the things that you just mentioned, do you hear them say those things, or do you not even bring it up and you just kind of be who you are? So
like say those things like they need.
Yeah, like I feel neglected. I feel like I'm overlooked.
Yeah.
Like do they see that at that age, and because now you're 27, you're the RD, you've lived a little bit.
Right.
George Floyd can happen. All these different things that make these conversations a little bit more prominent, right? But do they recognize that at that age? Like, I'm a freshman, African American, female. I feel overlooked. But
I don't feel like they say that necessarily, but their actions show that. Some of them are well advanced where they're like, hey, I am overlooked, or they can say those things. But a lot of times I can just tell just by their mannerisms or by the fact that maybe they're more abrasive in their approach about certain things. And I'm like, oh, I can see past all of that and like bring them in to have a conversation or to talk to them, or if anything, just show up. Like I have one girl right now that I've watched her change tremendously. Before she was very closed off and would not talk to me, and I would just press.
Yeah,
and so she would.
I love that too. I love when I get a shy person to start opening up to me. Right. It takes patience.
Right.
And and it's not something that you want to just overwhelm them, but just keep doing little things.
Right. You just
keep
stand right there, or you sit with them.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, well, what are you doing?
I love that. I love that. So in this RD, you've gotten your master's. There's this piece of you that still writes, right?
Yeah.
There's this motivational side of you that you want to go in and motivate people with low self-esteem, do those things. What does that look? How do you balance being a professional, a leader at a university, with these other things that you're passionate about? What does that balance look like for you?
Now, okay, so I used to be really bad at it. Still am my days at times. Now I've learned that I have to create margin because I'm the type of person that will just say yes to any and everything. And so I'm now learning to say no to certain things so that I can spend time like writing. Like, so now I may not take that engagement or go out and hang out with my friends because I know that I have to write. So like yesterday I was at home writing because I know that I have to film or I have to do certain things.
So were you intentional about blocking that time off, or did it just happen?
No. I have to now say I'm not going certain things. Whereas before I've been like, oh, I'm just going to make it work. And I've just seen how that doesn't help me in any way. I've also learned that boundaries are like huge now. So if there's a certain time that I've just put forward, like I have to work during the week anyway. And I feel like I'm working 2 jobs. And so like when I work and then I get off, I have a certain amount of time that I have to use to write and do those things, or it's just not going to happen anymore. I've just had to learn how to deny myself of the things I feel like I want to do in that moment in order to get what I want to see done. So that's where I'm at right now. Just learning how to create margin for rest and for writing because I have to work.
So in learning that or starting to identify that in your life, how have you learned to do that well? Meaning, like, Did you go to a class? Do you have a mentor that's helping guide you through that on how to balance? You're talking about boundaries. Was there a book? How has this come about for you, and how are you getting better at it?
Guys, well, I learned that through failing and by my life just being a complete mess. So like me getting this job to be a resident director at Southern Nazarene, I'm over students. So I'm over like 280 in my building, and I'm over my RA staff. And I did not do well my first year. So I was trying to do everything right, be there for them, do all these other things, and then things would just go to the wayside. So my boss literally dedicated to sit down with me and figure out, okay, so we need to put things on Google Calendar. And you're going to plan out your days every day until you get this down to a science. Like she's like, because you want to have a family one day, and you have to learn how to do that. And so I now utilize a calendar. I never did that. I would just use my brain,
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have me at 1 too, A mess. Can't believe I even did that. So now I use a calendar for everything. Google Calendar, put everything in there. And then also I listen to podcasts too. So there's a recent podcast. I cannot remember the lady's name for the life of me right now, but she talks about boundaries.
Okay.
And she talks about even like waking up early and what you eat and all those things like contribute to how you win the day, essentially.
Wow.
So I've now been, I got to go to bed at a certain time. I got to wake up, or I'm not going to be able to do the things that I love to do.
Yeah.
So definitely my boss right now.
Yeah.
She's dedicated her life to make sure I get on that Google Calendar.
I love calendars. Yeah. Yes, yeah. I love calendars. So writing is something that you mentioned more so than anything else.
Yes, sir.
Since we've been kind of sitting down. Talk to me about the process of writing and what type of writing do you do? Are you a copywriter? Are you writing, are you writing books? Are you writing blogs? Are you writing business articles? What are you writing? And tell me the process that you
just like currently that I'm writing?
Yeah, currently. What are you?
So right now, I think I'm just doing more so like freelance poetry right now. I am a part of a collective that's based out of Atlanta called Ex Nihilo. And I think the benefit of being in the collective, it's given me every month, I have to write a monthly piece. So they give it to me at the beginning of the month, where I write certain topics that they have given us, and we put them out and things of that nature. And then also, I am working on my own personal projects. So excited.
Wow.
So I have a series called The Single. And so I'm talking about like the single woman, because I was single forever, and talking about just like what life looks like being single, and that single is not a curse, and just like how to embrace that season. And so I'm working on a series. I have put one out that's called The Single, and the next one I'm doing is called All My Single Ladies. And so there's different things like that. So I write that. And then I also write a lot of like human interest pieces. More often than not, I've been working with an organization called OUR under the the direction of Tim Ballard. So they are dealing with like human trafficking survivors and like even victims. So I wrote a piece called What's Your Favorite Color? That'll come out on the 27th, everyone. But yeah, so I'm right for them. And the Dragonfly Home, which is based out of Oklahoma City, I did a gala for them. So I've been doing like human trafficking pieces. And then just like mostly for me, like just right now I'm in the season, I'm just like learning about how to help people who are singles. So writing that, and then the collective. So those are the three things that I've been doing right now. And then whatever other people like bring to me, like, hey, I want to write about self-worth, or I want a piece about this, and then I'll write for them.
So if I say, hey, I want you to write about what it looks like to go win, like, is that going to be in a poem format?
Yeah.
Or okay, so when you write, it's typically in a
poetry. Oh yeah, poetry.
Okay, cool. Format. Yeah, that's what. So another thing over here on your Instagram, talk to me about this video where you all are out in the water. What is going on?
Okay, so that is the piece that will come out on October 27th. Okay. It's called What's Your Favorite Color? I had the opportunity to go to Utah to shoot it, Salt Lake City. And so this.
So you're shooting this in Salt Lake City?
Yes, that's in Salt Lake City.
What?
Yeah.
That's legit.
I know, I'm so excited. So.
And who is this through? Like, what organization?
Okay, so that's OUR. So Operation Underground Railroad.
Okay.
They brought me out to filmed that, and we woke up early, and there's the mountains behind me.
I see the mountains. Yeah.
Isn't that dope?
That
I'm
is
so excited.
legit.
Yeah.
That is legit.
Yeah.
Now, if you scroll down some more on your, because one of the things you say is you recently are learning new things, and one of the things you learn is your ponytail, to do your own ponytail.
Hello.
Keep going down. Wait,
Hello, y'all.
I think there's a moment where.
Wait, where is it?
Where is it at?
Go up.
Go up.
It is.
It may be in a slide.
Right there, it's like the jean. See the jean?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yes, go.
Okay, y'all. So listen, being a black woman is hard sometimes. Okay, because money.
You got to slide over, Corey. It's a slide. It's more than one. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's difficult because you don't know. For me, okay, I'm very versatile. So like, one day I want to wear a wig, or one day I want to do a sewing, or one day I want to do braids. And I'm just learning. Look, you helping me. And sometimes I'm just like, what am I gonna do with my hair? So I went to the beauty supply store. That's also a guilty pleasure of mine, because I can buy anything out of there. And I was like, let me get this ponytail and let me try. I tried on one occasion, did not work. And then this time I was like, I can do it. So I mastered it that day. Hello. And now
look at you. You everywhere with this ponytail.
Everywhere.
You know, so in my house, my wife has to learn to do my kids. So I have a daughter. My son has dreads.
That's amazing.
Pull up. Do I have a picture of my? Yeah, I'm sure I on my Instagram stuff. But my son has dreads, so she's always learning how. And my wife is mulatto, so she's half white, black. So her hair is different from my daughter's hair. So it's been cool to watch her over the years learn to do my daughter's hair, but then learning to do my son's dreads. And it's like cool. Like, so I hear her talking about all the challenges of this is not easy than what you think. And so thinking about it, when you go to SNU,
yes,
and there's the minority of African Americans, it's very low, right? Do you have how do you?
I know where you're going.
How do you help them understand one another culturally and like those kind of things? Do you get to have those kind of conversations?
Yes,
I don't have no pictures of my kids. That's so sad.
Not
together. Yeah, not together. I thought I had one. Go back up. I thought I recently had one of Zell and the standing together, but I guess not.
Do they have your eyes too?
Yeah.
That's cute.
I don't think so. That's him right there. That's my son.
Oh.
But yeah, so she's learned to do dreads or whatever. So, but what is that like to have those kind of conversations? Or do you?
Oh, I do all the time. Like whether you want to have it or not, because I am a firm believer that, especially as women, we need to help each other out more. A lot of times we just let our sister look crazy, or just let her hair do whatever it wants. But the truth is, she doesn't even know what to do or what products to use.
No.
And so one of my things that is like big to me, like even on social media, is like, I style, I love clothing. I like to look good. That's something that I enjoy because I believe it builds your confidence. And so I try to instill that in them as well. So I'm like, hey, like you could do so I suggest things to them. Or if they see me that I did my hair, then like, oh, will you do that for me? And then I'll like help them in that type of way. We really do need to help our sisters. Yeah. Okay. I think that's something that we just don't do. We care about ourselves, very selfish. And so I have like dedicated my life because there's women in my life who helped me when I didn't know how to dress. Yeah. There was times I looked really like a mess. Yeah. Okay. A mess. Did not know how to do my own makeup. Did not know how to do my own, like I'm now learning how to do my hair in this way without spending $1 billion to get it done all the time. I had 2 women in my life who were around my age who they would just teach me about how to be a lady, how to be a woman. My mom too. My mom as well. But just I get it. Look, your peers are something different.
Yeah.
Like when you go home, your mom will tell you look pretty with your with a trash bag on your head. You know what I'm saying?
Girl, you look great.
And you really look a mess. Really looking mess. Like I have pictures of my mama, my hair was curled, just looking a mess. Okay, but your peers are something different. And I had 2 women who are still in my life who helped me. Who were like, "Hey, this is how you put on lashes, and this is how you do concealer. This is how." And so, just because of that, like holding my hand through that, I want to help other women do that as well. Like we can be bomb together.
Yeah. So my daughter said just a little bit ago. We live in Guthrie, so like. Very much the minority and things like that. We love people we don't think it's not even that's not even a deal to us. But my daughter said to me, what she said to my wife, like, I need other black girlfriends so we can talk about hair.
Yeah,
Because
it's a real thing.
Like her friends who are not black, like they don't talk. They don't
Right.
get it
because they don't have hair.
Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah,
Right. they don't have the same hair.
They have hair, but you know,
the same type of hair.
The same type of hair, and like those things are real. And it's amazing, like when you try to have those conversations to get people to understand, sometimes they freeze up or they get real uncomfortable. It's like, no, it's okay. Like, this is what brings us together. This is what unifies us, to understand one another and be okay that you're different. And that's not with all people. Like, all black folks do not camp. Like, there are some black people who camp.
That's
like,
real.
You know, but
I don't know that's funny to me, but that is funny to me.
But I would say it growing up, I didn't know very many African Americans who camp, but we didn't get the opportunity to experience that either.
Right.
You know, and so, but those kind of things amaze me. Like, we can't have those conversations without somebody being like, do we really have to have this conversation? Like, it's okay.
It's like, it's okay to have it.
It's okay to have this conversation. So, being in the environment that you're working in, I'm sure there's a lot.
I just want to help because some of them, they don't have anyone to teach them that you can do this and you can, go against the grain. And I think also we need to kill the idea that you can't ask someone for help when it comes to your hair. Like, you don't know how to do your edges.
No.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And
let me teach you about this eco styler, okay? There's this toothbrush. Like, that's okay. So, yeah.
And that's what I love that you posted that, is because you were like, hey, I'm learning to do my ponytail, and that's okay to learn, because you are an adult woman, right? At this moment, you're saying, I don't know how to do a ponytail in this way.
Yeah.
We got to be okay with that and not point fingers when somebody doesn't know how to do something.
Exactly. And now that I know it, I even, what is it, last week, someone was like, hey, will you be able to do mine? I said, yes, because I know how to do it now. I know how to do it now.
Come on. Right. So you talk about being a part of different community groups, SALT, the collective out of Atlanta, things like that. What are some things that you walk away with because you're in different community groups? Why is evidently that's important to you, because you're part of them, right? And you're joining these things. What is it that you're walking away from these things, and why do you do it?
I walk away from it like gaining not only perspective on who I can become, because a lot of people in the circles I'm in are things I want to do. So I see like, wow, like I can become that, So being even in an environment that brings awareness to affirm the gifts in me, that's huge. Another thing is that I also gain relationships, like real authentic relationships with them. Like, I'm like, wow, you're my friend. Like, you guys are my friend. We have something in common that we can talk about. And then I get to help them in an area that they may not know they have access to. So like we gain like twofold in that. And then I also just like, I think the networking is huge, like the opportunities to just either go speak in their arena or their realm, and then vice versa, them helping me. So I don't know. It's just being a part of these different groups have shown me like, wow, we can help each other if we do it together. Like, there's only so much I can do by myself. But when I'm a part of whatever I'm a part of, man, we can go far together. So that's what I've gained from being in these organizations.
That's legit. Yeah. So you recently did a project with SALT.
Yeah.
What is it? What are they called?
Okay, well, this project, I think it's like we're the SALT leaders in it, but I don't think it's just
SALT.
As a whole.
Yeah. But they're kind of the ones.
They're like, the catalyst of it. It was called Jesus is Lord. Yeah. That I was a part of. I got to do a poem with a violinist named Kyle Dillingham. He's so dope. So they asked me.
I'm supposed to have him on the podcast.
Really?
Yeah. I hope I didn't forget that day. But yeah. Kyle's cool.
Yeah. So they asked me to do a poem called Jesus is Lord. And in the segment, it's literally, you see Jesus is shown in every part of like just everyday life, whether that's through injustice or that's through grief, loss, whether that's through like, being lame and God resurrecting that situation. And so, or music. So we show different parts of like the highs and lows of Jesus being Lord over all different situations. And I got to be the anchor. I was the last person to conclude the piece. So
that is cool.
That was awesome.
That's cool. So tell us what's next for you.
Wow. Okay. Well, What's next for me? So one of my biggest things right now, which I should have talked about this earlier, I created an organization called United. So it's for women, like 18 to 30, and we meet every Wednesday. And so we work on not only like the things we're doing now, which is like community, but we learn like biblical literacy. We have a sisterhood. So every Wednesday at 8:30, I'm with about 17 women talking about the Lord, building them up, teaching them how to be vulnerable and authentic, all this stuff. So working with them, and so that's something that I'm building right now.
Now, is that an invite? Anybody can show up. As
No,
long as
so
you're
like
a female, you come.
no, so it's only women. But what I do is it's me and then one of my close friends. We're like the leaders of it, and so we split the women down the middle. So we have in all about like 30 women in total. But I ask that they like kind of do an orientation like with me because it is a commitment. I don't want them to feel like you just come and go. Like we're building with other women, and so we want to make sure that like you're all in to be a part. So that's really it for right now.
So do they reach out to you like, hey, or do you have an application a form that
yeah,
they
so I
fill out?
have a Google form, and then I do the orientation with them, and then moving to 2021, we're starting to where it'll be a payment process and so that we can put money towards like helping other women in the community, things that I see myself wanting to do long term. And so I started it off to see if I could even get it off the ground, but now I'm gonna make it a bigger thing.
That's cool. Now this is your nonprofit that
this is the nonprofit that you're talking about.
Yeah,
that I'm gonna make one.
Yeah.
So I just want to see if I can actually do it first. And so
sounds cool. Now where's that at? Is that in Oklahoma City or?
Yeah. So I mean, Corona stopped everything. So what I do is it's virtual for right now. So I do 2 virtual meetups and then 2 in person. So that's what's been going on. And if you want to join, come on for the ride. So that's one of the things.
What do they find? How do they connect with you? Just go to your Instagram.
Yeah, they can go to my Instagram.
What is your Instagram? We
my Instagram is at the lady Deanne, and my women are on here. If you want to go down.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, you keep on going. Keep going. So one of my girls, she did the devotional for us up there, but these are my women right here. Yeah, no, right there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Look
and I talk about it. I talk about United in the
y'all ain't got on no mask, nothing.
God forgive us. We don't have Corona though. Even though I did have it at some point.
That is so cool though.
Yeah.
That's cool. How long have you been doing that?
This is now 4 months.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see if I could do it.
What have you learned from doing this? For you personally, about people, what are some takeaways?
I've learned how to be accountable. I've learned that when you lead, you have to be a glass house for people, and you can't just like hide in the shadows of your own life. Like you have to be honest about what's going on so that you can build them up. And so I've created a type of like a celebration type of culture. Like we celebrate the highs and the lows. Yeah. So I've gained accountability through that. I've also learned how to be vulnerable with other women so that they can do that as well too. And then I've also learned how to create a safe haven. I believe that we more often than not are not safe places for people. And that's something that I want to create. I want to create like, you can come here and feel like you can express and lay your hair down, take the wig off type of environment for women. And then also you're going to encounter Jesus here too, like the real one.
That's legit.
Not the fake one.
That's good. And so what else? You had another project?
Yeah. So the next thing I'm doing is the single series. And so I've only have one thing out. And the next one is all my single ladies that I'm shooting at the end of this month. And that'll come out in November. I'll have the promo for it. So I'm hyped already about that. So showing women that singleness is not a curse. And that's a big thing for me right now. So that. And then the human trafficking piece that is coming on the 27th. Big deal. So that'll be out on the 27th. That's the thing I've looking forward to, been posting about, talking about, trying to get people involved in that arena. That, and then is there something else I'm doing? Yeah, that's it for right now. And then of course like collective.
Yeah.
That's an ongoing thing.
Now, is the collective, do y'all do anything that's public? Meaning like out of the projects that you all are doing together, like the once a month thing? Like, so is there a way that people can see you all, some of the stuff?
Yes, you can go on at X Nihilo. and then you'll see the things that we do. So we're trying to illuminate Jesus through creativity, through like spoken word, writing, poetry. So you see piece like all over the Instagram, like there's pieces all over that. So like you'll see some of mine, other people. We also talk about like the injustice that's been happening.
Do y'all have an
in society.
Instagram like just to showcase the people in the group?
It's
Oh,
in there.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
What is it?
at
Spell.
X Nihilo, EX. I don't know if I put it on here too. EX, and there's a dot. NI. Yeah, right there. Co. The collective. Yes, and so
Oh, nice.
we have a piece right now that's called "Losing It." So like losing control of our own lives, allowing God to lead us. There I am in that video right there. We did a huge event called LRS, and that was virtual. And so one of my, I guess like poetry. What do you call it? Poetry like mates artist. She did a whole like showcase on her gift and like talked about the Lord, talked about different situations that she's been in to encourage people. And then what else is on here? Yeah, the LRS Living Room Showcase. So one of the biggest things that we do.
What is that? The Living Room Showcase over here to the right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay.
So one of the biggest things that we do is one of the artists is picked from their hometown, and X Nihilo will come and showcase them as an artist in front of like friends, family. They bring worship artists to come and sing, and then you showcase your gift, and it's an incredible night. And it was virtual, so that was a big event.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That is legit. Well, thank you so much for sharing a little bit, having this conversation with me, should I say.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Yeah. I love the stuff that you're doing, and I just want to continue to cheer you on to keep doing well and having that margin. We'll probably have to have you back on for part 2.
I would love that.
Because you got a lot of stuff going on. I want to be able to keep up with you. And yeah. And so, but I know you're also cutting back, right?
Yes, I am.
Margin, boundaries.
I just realized you can't say yes to everything.
Yeah.
I thought I could.
Yeah,
I thought I was Superwoman for 5 seconds.
I
can't do it.
You cannot do that.
But I also think I still have the capacity to do a lot of things.
Yeah. And I think it's all about help too.
Oh yes. Now I'm
like you talked about that earlier. Like when we lock arms and do things together, the more you can do.
Yeah.
Because you see somebody like, there's so many, like you see, what's his name? The guy who owns Tesla and all these different people are doing so many different things, but there's so many other people
helping them.
Yeah, help make that kind of stuff happen. And so, and you're learning how to do that through your job at SNU.
Yes.
With having 12 people under you, they're all in a dorm. So you're learning how to multiply yourself because those 12 are a part of who you are as a leader and stuff. So
I need to multiply myself then in this area. Then I need
12
people.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And it'll come.
Yeah.
And you have different people, even though these organizations and different things are founded and birthed out of you. But there's other people who have this desire to do something that should be second in charge and not a founder or somebody leading. That's going to be your call. And then you find those people who have a desire and a passion to do those specific, that's my thoughts.
Well, thank you for helping me.
Yes.
Can say yes.
Anytime.
Thank you, Greener.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for hitting that play button for another episode of the Hetty Coleman Podcast. Make sure you go check Deanna out on Instagram.
Yes, and Facebook at Deanne Brodie-Mends.
All right. What's your Instagram? Say it one more time.
At the lady Deanne, Deanne.
Nice. Okay. So go check her out. Go follow. And I so appreciate y'all. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, go win.